Hey there, lab rats. Welcome back to the Taekwondo Lab. My name is Coach Husky, and here's what we'll be going over in today's video. Here we are in the lab, where athletes like you hone their skills to take their game to the next level. Want to know when we're coming out with new videos just like this one? Just smash that like button and follow us on social media. Today, I'm joined by 80 national team member, AAU national team member, and peak international Taekwondo athlete, Sean Lalone. Ready to get started, Sean?
Yes, sir.
Blocking in Sport Taekwondo is uniquely different than any other combat sport. Oftentimes, you see the guard of combat athletes rather high and near the face. However, this positioning is not ideal for Sport Taekwondo, as it exposes the body, which in Taekwondo is the most scored to surface. That said, it makes sense to guard the body predominantly using minor movements while making other arrangements for the head, since punches to the head are illegal. The guard in Taekwondo is rather low to facilitate the blocking function and varies from athlete to athlete. Most of the athletes at the Taekwondo Lab have a guard similar to Sean's, with the lead hand down to block cut kicks from scoring to the body, and the rear hand going across the body to minimize the traveling distance to perform a block. However your guard is, it needs to be in the prime position to perform the three most effective blocking techniques for Olympic-style Taekwondo. The body block blocks any kick that is aimed to the chest and stomach regions of the body, no matter what the kick is. Here, we show that a back leg round kick, fast kick, twist kick, and hook kick to the body can all be blocked using this technique. To execute a body block, stack the arms on top of each other so that the elbow of each arm is a little below the wrist of the other. Make sure that the placement of the arms cover the body. Keep in mind that the body block does not have a fixed position, as its placement is dependent upon the path the opponent's foot takes to the body. Athletes should try and target the foot so that it lands on the forearms. The second block is the backside block, used to block any kick traveling to the backside of the body. Here, we show a back leg round kick, fast kick, and hook kick can all be blocked using this technique. To execute a backside block, simply move the lead arm over towards the backside. The arm, however, needs to be lifted rather high to prevent the foot from wrapping around and still scoring the point. Again, the goal is to get the opponent's foot to land on the forearm. The last block is the head block, which is done the same way on both sides. When clinching, it is typical to expect your opponent to go for the headshot using a crescent kick. To guard against this, use the head block. To execute the head block, lift the arm straight up, blocking the head on the same side the opponent's foot is traveling towards. Then, while your opponent is on one leg, walk forward, throwing them off balance and potentially forcing the point deduction by inducing the fall. Make sure the arm is angled slightly outward away from the body to prevent flexible athletes from bending the knee outward to wrap around the arm, still scoring the point. There are only 3 blocks because the head block is done the same way on both sides. Using the rear arm positioned across the body, perform the same motions in the clinch when your opponent attempts a headshot on the open side. There are 2 common mistakes when blocking in Sport Taekwondo. The first is reaching out towards kicks to block with the hands. This is not only a dangerous risk to the hands and fingers, but high-level athletes use this to their advantage by dipping under the hands to still score the point. Second is dipping the head instead of using the head block. While we see dipping a lot in sparring, it is easy to adjust to with a competent coach or athlete who sees it being used all the time. It is better to mix dipping the head with the head block to keep the opponent guessing. Also, High-level athletes who follow through on the crescent kick are able to stop the kick before the follow-through, dropping the foot on the face to still score the point. Although executing the blocking techniques by themselves are quite simple, it is rather difficult to apply in actual sparring. It requires athletes to relinquish bad habits and constantly drill the techniques for muscle memory. The first drill is just to block kicks thrown to the same part of the body over and over again to build the motor control of the athlete by using the actual stimulus they will see in a match. The second is to handicap an athlete so that they are only blocking during a free sparring drill. Beginner athletes should start very slow with this drill, then pick up speed and maybe even use gear as the athlete becomes better at blocking on cue. Hey, look, that's all for this week on the Taekwondo Lab. Make sure you follow and check into the lab on Facebook during your next training session. We want to know what you're doing. Also, make sure you tag and follow us on Instagram, especially if you're trying some of our stuff. We love to see videos of your training sessions, exercise routines, and just general Taekwondo videos. Lastly, make sure you subscribe to our podcast, where we'll discuss our weekly videos in depth, going over strategy and the pro way to use combinations and techniques. We'll also talk directly to our viewers, taking calls, answering questions, and conducting interviews of world-class athletes and coaches. Until next time, Lab Rats.